I love this. Oh, there it is. The Mosley Show on Labor Day. Happy Labor Day. Do you say Happy Labor Day? I guess. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot to react to. We're doing a special edition, and we'll go for an hour here. I just put it out on socials. Scotty, if you want to throw it on Facebook, I should have put it on Facebook too to grab all our Facebookers, but I just put it on Twitter, bring some folks in, and then, of course, we'll take some of this and we'll be launching it kind of out everywhere. Scotty's great at, putting the short videos. He's award-winning for that. Scotty's today shown up and just a tremendous attitude. We were down there. We were in the middle of things. Had a nice-looking TV set. Had some guys that really worked hard. Scotty worked incredibly hard. And I thought we had some really good moments on our opening foray into TV. There are a lot of people around, lots of interesting things going on. It's just going to only get more and more exciting from here on out. Scotty, at some point, you and I will talk today and we'll figure things out. I know you've got big wedding stuff this weekend. You're a best man. That's very exciting. It's not good for me, really, but it's good for you. And I think you'll find this is mainly about me. But no, it's fine. We'll figure it out I've got my SMU credential. I'm ready to be at this SMU Baylor game. Yet we need to hit all the marks on the pregame show. So we'll figure it all out. And boy, I thought Faith Lynch got to meet her mom and her dad and the brother. They were all around. Faith came out strong, came out swinging. And I mean, I don't know. I think when you have a Division I athlete, a little pregame show is not gonna, because I thought to myself, it's not easy. She's extremely, she's young. She's just out of school, and I mean, I should have. I do have great belief and conviction in Faith, but man, Scotty, you were up there doing your thing. And we had other people show up. Pete Souza came by. That was fun. I mean, there were things a little bit out of our control, which I'm not going to get into. But like the stuff we were doing, you could just tell. It's like people are going to love this. And like even when I was doing something with, I don't know, I think we had the man, the myth, Eddie Lackey come by. We had a bunch of people. I mean, we in some ways – we made it as difficult as possible on people to follow us, but like the content we were creating, and Scotty, I'll keep the jokes to a minimum because I think the scars are still real. But the content we were putting out there was really good and really fun, and I think our sponsors are going to be excited. The product itself is quite honestly one of the better. Maybe the best. It's probably the best pregame available for any kind of Baylor event. And now we just got to iron out a couple things. But Scotty worked like crazy, and he tried to keep my focus. He tried to keep me from like knowing anything wasn't perfect, and he did a really good job. And at some point, I think even I can notice, okay, there's some things going on here, but. We're going to clean it all up. It's kind of like Baylor. We're going to look at the film.
little disappointing in week 1, but we're going to bounce back week 2, huh?
We're going to clean it all up. We'll be fine. And there was a time in my life, and there are other show hosts who would not have reacted well to that type of situation. Fortunately, I've arrived at an age that I feel more. I feel like it doesn't do me very well to, like, if something's not going perfectly, I'm really not helping or accomplishing anything by reacting in an adverse way. And so I'm glad, Scotty, you have gotten to know me in a time of my life where I kind of roll with things. a little more. Now let's get into, though, and we'll do some Campus Confidential. Scotty, I know you'll have some things you want to bounce off of me. I was in College Station Saturday. I was in Waco Friday, and I just haven't had a really good opportunity to, and Scotty, something else. I don't want to commit us to even more work than what you did Friday, which was like unbelievable. It was a heavy lift. It was a heavy ask. But as I was driving home late Friday night and I'm listening to like the fifth quarter on the radio on the Baylor flagship, I'm like, okay, what are we doing? And by the way, Derek is a good friend of mine. He does a great job with it. This is nothing against Derek, but like, imagine like that game and that frustration, and then you have a post-game show where you don't have any way anybody can weigh in. Like nobody can call in. It's like, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to replay the Nick and John's visit with Dave that we played like 15 minutes ago. We're going to replay that for you. What? Huh? Like the Baylor fandom that all showed up, like a great crowd, maybe even some Auburn fans, who knows? But like they're wanting to react to this. And yes, it's negative and there were positive things to happen, but there'll be a lot of negativity. But like you can't have, here's the thing, here's what I would do. Here's what I would tell the flagship or whoever's doing this, the network. Like just don't do it. Let Derek and everybody, don't waste Derek's time. Don't waste anybody's time. Send everybody home. Don't waste the sponsors' time. Like send everybody on home if you're not going to let fans react. Because I found myself driving home like I want to react. So, okay, that's enough of that. I found myself listening to Dave Aranda today. We'll let you hear a little bit of it. And I felt myself like having some empathy, and there were some things he even talked about his kids. Like I've been boo-hooing about dropping my daughter off. I'm sure my daughter's like, well, stop showing up every weekend. It'll be easier to deal with my departure if you stop showing up in College Station to see me every weekend. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to take a break and I'm going to stop going down there. But I hearing Aranda talk about his wife taking his little girl, like his middle child, the freshman. He's got one still playing at Midway. He's got a football playing son, Roman, I believe is his name. But the girls go off to Madison. I mean, I'd love for some of these kids to go to Baylor. I mean, hopefully he understands it's free if they want to stay home and go to Baylor. But they're going to Wisconsin. And maybe that has something to do with they were little girls when he was a offensive coordinator up there. Maybe they have incredible friends. But for whatever reason, the girls have decided to go to University of Wisconsin. So there's the wife dropping them off, and then Baylor's playing on Friday, so he can't drop his girls off at school, and people go, wah. He makes $5 million a year. Who cares? Well, I mean, those are special moments. So I want to start off by saying, when I hear him talking about that stuff, because I just dropped our only child off at college, I do have great empathy and great feelings about all that. And by the way, hello, everybody flowing in on the YouTube channel. Subscribe, be here. We'll play some of this back for you. I get all that. But now let's get into where we gotta just be honest. We got to be upfront. At some point today in the news conference, he says, like, they're having a good walkthrough. And they're trying to tell their kids to represent and be proud. And Dave Aranda makes the statement, we're a good team. Huh? Really? Like, I need to see more. I mean, I see the makings of some good things, but I wouldn't be up there as a coach after getting beat 38-24 by Auburn, after this huge buildup, and, oh, my God, you got talent. The Baylor could win the Big 12. I wouldn't be up there trying to tell anybody, even my own players. I would not be up there trying to tell anybody we're a good team. All right? That made me think about a couple of years ago when David Smoke was constantly saying, do you have championship players on this team. And you're like, yeah, is this a championship caliber roster? And he'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, why are we saying yeah? You should say right now, no, because you are what you are. You are what you put on the field. And you went out there and you got manhandled by an SEC team. And I know everybody's out there like, oh, look at the passing game. And we'll say all these nice things. We'll talk about some of the positives. Look at this. Look at that. There's some good things that came from today. You went out there after all this time, and it's like SEC, like a middle-of-the-road SEC team, fast, big, speed, but against what's supposed to be maybe a top-of-the-line Big 12 team. And you get beat up and you get bullied. And, I mean, David asked him, golly, Scotty, I think it was Garrett Ross, my old buddy Garrett Ross. Saw him in the press box the other day. He's up there just chirping away, like asking all kinds of questions. Somebody's unleashed Garrett Ross. My gosh, it was like, said something about after you get this mulligan. What are we talking about? I mean, by the way, Garrett did a good job today. He's out there moving in on this press conference. Now, he brought up something that I would disagree with, like you get this mulligan against Auburn. Who started getting a mulligan? You're 0-1 and you had a great opportunity and you kind of whizzed down your leg. I mean, and by the way, that's not, I mean, yeah, you couldn't run, but the passing game, the yardage was there. It's your head coach / play caller, defensive, like, so the correct question was asked, why not use a spy? I mean, we're all wondering, and I mean, even after the game, we're wondering, you got Jackson Arnold. Did we not think he was athletic? Did you not know that 6'3" Jackson Arnold, the quarterback at Auburn, could move? Like, what's going on? Like, what? How in the world are you still in the second half watching this kid? Like, I'd almost rather watch Jackson Arnold beat you on a deep throw or watch the running back continue to gash you. I'd almost rather watch anything. But the thing I would not want to watch anymore is that quarterback running for touchdowns. And so the question is asked, did you think about putting a spy in? Did you think about spying him? Dave gives an answer, and it's a typical Aranda answer. I know what he means by it. What he's saying is they were running play action, and he was actually running on unconventional running opportunities. Not like, so basically he's saying they're setting up play action pass, and the whole while they're deciding they're going to run. I don't care. I don't care if it's unconventional. At some point, if he's done it enough, 16 times for 137 yards, you better spy him. You better spy him, or you better not go in there holy-goly, washing him out of there, and then not having anybody backside. I mean, my gosh, we talk about, I mean, Scotty, the guy from Texas A&M. We talk about the other guy who came in from Tulane or wherever. Oh, my gosh, we got all these massive bodies. Jackie Marshall gets hurt early in the game. Did that hurt the run defense? Absolutely it did. Absolutely. But you're a Power 4 team. You've got to have enough depth, and you got really good linebackers. Fobbs, I mean, our hyphenated guys. Fobbs White, the Keaton. You got really solid linebackers, and even my man Redding would come up from his safety spot occasionally and make a play in the run game. What in the world are you doing that allows a quarterback to basically dismantle your whole defense? And the question was asked today. I mean, Lord knows, Scotty, if we can actually play some Dave, because now I've gotten wound up here. But the question was asked now on all these fourth downs. Bryce is asking. Bryce is a great friend of mine, but he's like, are you going for it on fourth down because you trust your defense? No, Bryce. He's going for it on every fourth down because he has zero trust in his defense. He doesn't want to punt the ball back to them and then watch them run it right back down the field on them. He has to keep possession of the football because he has zero trust in the defense that he coaches. And if you want to know if Dave Aranda was embarrassed, all you had to do is listen to today. Absolutely, he was embarrassed because they got shoved around up front and they got road graded and they got mauled, and then they had a quarterback just clown them. All right, Jackson Arnold. We spend our whole offseason. People go, he's going to be good. He's going to be good. We're like, really? Wasn't good at OU, but maybe. Okay, let's see. Let's see Jackson roll out. Let's see him throw a pass. Guys, he threw for 108 yards in that game. You get beat. They got 38 points. 1 touchdown was on a return. And again, I don't want to hear like, we got a lot of good guys who are going to play great ball for us in the future. Got a lot of great guys on the field. I'd go find 11 more. I'd go find 11 more to put out there. I mean, they had it happen against LSU last year in the bowl game. That's it. I mean, your team is fighting. Your defense finally gets holds them to a field goal. They're just trying to cling and stay in this game, and they made it whatever it was, like 21-14 at halftime, and you're just feeling great to even be somewhat connected in that game. And then somehow you get that thing 24-17, and then the kid goes, whoop. There he goes. He's gone. Saw it happen in the A&M game. UTSA fighting, clawing, hammering these Ags. And then KC Concepcion, who transferred in from North Carolina State, who looks like a bad A, 80-yard punt return. All right, sometimes the athletes just win. But let's not act like Baylor doesn't have athletes. Apparently, they got a bunch of stars out there, future stars on the field playing kickoff coverage. Boom, kid's gone. Everything you've worked for. Then you work harder. And you still are throwing haymakers to get back in. You get that thing to, 31-24. I mean, you're still out there fighting, and you're in the ball game. And at one point, they did get a horrible call. But you really, again, it's going to happen. It was pathetic. Scotty knows what I'm talking about. There was one point in that second half where they had a chance and the defense was playing better, and they called a phantom defensive hold on Baylor. The linebacker basically did what he was supposed to do. You tag a dude, you see him, you tag, you go running past him to go make a play. There was no hold. I mean, they thought they saw something and they threw it. And so that was a bad play. But again, there was so much horrible play against that quarterback. I'm not going to get too caught up in one call. Was that a bad call? Could it have changed the game? Yes. They were going to have to punt. It was going to be like 4th and 4 up there around midfield, and the Bears were going to get it back, trailing by 1 touchdown. All right, and I want the run game to be better. I saw signs from Caden Knighton. I like him. He bounced to run outside. He did a couple things I liked. I agreed with Dave. He then started doing too much of that. I saw a major drive in the second half, almost like a gotta have it drive. And that was interesting to me that Bryson was over on the sideline. And it led me to think, is he okay? It's like he banged up. I mean, I did see him kind of limping around at one point in the game. But no, he was fine. He got back out there. Man, that's frustrating. It's frustrating when you believe you have one of the top backs in the country and you come away from a game with 58 or 60-something rushing yards. I mean, that's bad. That's bad. From an offensive coordinator who wants to run the ball, but obviously they couldn't. Now, they only ran it 14 to 17 times or something in that game. They ended up throwing the ball a lot, and partially because they were so successful. All right, Scotty. I mean, Scotty's been podcasting and doing his thing today, and so And Scotty's had, one of a hellacious weekend of activity. Going back to Friday. But Scotty, again, and you can reel me back in if you think I'm being too hard on them or anything like that. That's fine. But I just think I think sometimes give me a weekend, especially an extra day, and I can kind of calm down and sound a little more reason with my takes and a little more reasonable on a Monday. My thought is just that, first of all, I haven't really had much of an opportunity since Friday night's game, so I needed to tap in to some of my frustration from the other night. Okay, there'll be times this season where I do some podcasting or I do some live stuff right after a show, and Scotty can jump in there with me, and we'll do some of that. But I just haven't really been able to react since then. Scotty, you did a podcast, or the Please Bear With Me podcast. Terrence Ganaway is on there with you. You guys have great chemistry. Terrence is a guy that tells it like it is.
Yes.
Scotty, when you now have a third day, a Monday holiday, has the holiday brought upon you, like, are you feeling more positive vibes, or are you still feeling a lot of frustration based off of Saturday's 38-24 loss? I tell you also, Scotty, I hated seeing those Tigers when I got the Buckies in Hillsboro and they just had it covered up. It's like I can't even get them out of my Buckies. I just want to go into my Buckies, see my Baylor people. I saw my sister and brother-in-law and their family, and that was good to see them. But I just wanted to be with my people and kind of go around with some misery. I don't want to see the shirtless Auburn kids going back to Dallas or wherever they're going back to. I hated having, and they were fine. I would say this: LSU, Alabama, Aggies, UT people, Oklahoma, far, far worse after a win than Auburn. The Auburn people, for the most part, were like, give me some beef jerky, give me my blocks of cheese, give me some beaver nuggets or some beaver chips, and let me be on my way. So I did not find the Auburn people to be annoying. In fact, I found them to be somewhat kind and somewhat gracious. I'm sure other Baylor fans had other experiences, but I had a fine experience with the people in orange. Okay, Scotty, where are you on this Monday? Did the Aranda, I know I had you looking at the Aranda thing and you were thinking about breaking it down. Did he calm you down? Where's your frustration level?
You know, two things can be true at once. I say a lot to my friends. We can be adults and we can feel two things at one time. On one hand, and this is what I was trying to focus on Please Bear With Me, but it was hard. I still believe this team can win the Big 12. There is a storyline for this season that ends with us very happy. I think Sawyer Robertson played his worst game that he'll play all season, and he still threw for over 400 yards and no interceptions. So I don't feel like the season is lost. I don't want to be an overreaction Monday guy. At the same time, Matt Mosley,
I want you to be that guy, by the way.
At the same time, Matt Mosley, this is year 6 of Dave Aranda. And this is yet another example of a Dave Aranda team coming out for a really, really big game and looking like they're not ready for the moment. And I'm really tired of it. It happened in the bowl game against LSU. It has happened more than once now under Dave Aranda against TCU in a rivalry game. It's happened against UT before they left for the SEC. Two things that Matt Rule did incredibly well that I miss. And I hate how often I want to go back to Matt Rule for a comparison, because Dave Aranda did coach the team that won the Big 12. Never mind the fact that the longer he goes on as Baylor's head coach, the more credit I give to Jalen Petrie and Terrell Bernard for that championship. But Two things Matt Rhule team always did, even in the season that they won one football game in 2017. Do you know what Matt Rhule teams always did? They always played good special teams, and they always looked like they wanted to hit someone in the mouth. Even in the season they won one game, we looked like we knew how to play special teams, and we hit people in the mouth. And the turning point of that game was the kick six, the return for a touchdown. I mean, that was it. The energy right out of the stadium. You were starting to believe again. And I'm tired of Dave Aranda teams not executing on what I think a lot of football coaches would call sound, fundamental, detailed, normal football things. So Dave Aranda talked about filling gaps, overrunning plays. That, I don't care what your scheme is. If your players are overreacting to ball fakes and can't cover the read option because they're undisciplined, that's a problem. If you're giving up a kick return for a touchdown because your kicker can't kick it through the end zone, and then your players can't stay in their lanes to prevent a kick return for touchdown, that's a discipline problem. And I don't know what the solution is, Matt Mosley, but I think Baylor mostly has the athletes. But dadgummit, Baylor completely played into the narrative BS national stuff of like, look how much more dominant the SEC is. Baylor completely lended itself to that narrative Friday night, and it
maybe we can't call it BS when it happened. Auburn shows up and manhandles you, and those edge rushers. Like you're right. The part about like Cole Wilson and Prentice on that fourth down play. Let's remember, I agree with you. That would have been so much fun to be back. I mean, they were briefly in that game, and the return happens, and then they briefly have another chance. But they were having to throw haymakers. Today there was this whole fourth down discussion, and I know why he does it. And to a certain extent, it's paid off for him at times a lot. But the other night was a holy goalie. We got to do it because we're not as good as them, and we can't stop them. We have zero shot at stopping them. It's not like the question was asked today. Did you do it because you trust your defense? No, they did it because they had no answers for Jackson Arnold. And I mean, again, it's very fortunate, but you can't that's not sustainable. That like you're going to stay in games by on 4th and 8 throwing a deep ball for a touchdown. It worked, and I love the Prentice play, and I was excited about it as anybody. But that's, stuff like that's not sustainable.
Well, you say that. I think late in the game, that's valid. I think late in the game, we can't stop them, we have to go is probably true. But I think that second drive, going for it, 4th and goal, when you failed to get any points there on your second drive, that was the other turning point in this game, besides the kick return. You had gone down and scored on your first drive, albeit a field goal. I would have liked a touchdown to open the game, but you'll take 3 on your opening drive. You had a 3 and out where you had a Matthew Fobbs-White suplexed Jackson Arnold into the turf. It was awesome. And I'm thinking I literally tweeted it and then got roasted the rest of the night. I was like, wow, there's that vaunted SEC offensive line, because for that opening series, it was like these guys are. Yes, but I was so excited, Matt Mosley. I was like, look at us. And then we drive down again. You hit the deep shots at Cole Wilson to get in the red zone, thing of beauty. And then you go for it on 4th and goal. And I like that decision, Matt, because if you go up 10-0 there, it's a different football game. It's a completely different. You have put your foot on their throat at home and made a statement. The problem is, and we did this the entire first half and some of the second half, we decided prior to the game, and I didn't get to talk about this on Please Bear With Me. We ran out of time. We decided prior to the game that we were going to force the ball to Michael Trigg every other passing down instead of using the 7 weapons we have on the outside I don't understand. Yeah, that was the frustrating part for me. It wasn't so much going for it. It was we went for it a couple of different times on a play where it's like, hey, you're going to throw a back shoulder to this one player. So we're not actually reading the defense. We're not actually scheming someone open. We're just going to run Trig up the seam, hope he does that little back shoulder thing, that worked later in the game.
To your point, and I watched A&M do this the other night with one of their big tight ends who's from Sweden, of all places. But, like, if you're going to do something like that, if you're going to go for fourth down there, you're right. Run something that can totally have a tight end option. But maybe the tight end option is, he's rolled. Think about over the years, whether it was Sims, Trig, whoever. Think how often they've been able to run that play, even since Sawyer's been here, where you're rolling out and it's a real easy throw. You get a guy running across and he's got room to use that athleticism and get open. To your point, whether it's a fade or a back shoulder or whatever, it's a low percentage type deal in that spot. That said, Trig is an impossible cover, and they were dragging him across the middle, and they couldn't cover him. So I get why you would want to go to Trig. I didn't love the play. I'm okay with them wanting to get the touchdown down there, but they're so enamored. I'll tell you a dumb time to go for it. And it worked, I think, and so whatever, it didn't become a storyline. But what I don't like is being results oriented, and you wait till they don't get it or they do get it, and you go great or whatever. I'm sitting there with like 20 seconds left in the half or whatever, or 23 seconds left in the half. I think you know what I'm talking about. And I'm looking like, really? You're going to go for it on fourth down at midfield, and you're almost by a miracle, you're in this game, and it's whatever it was, 21-14 or something like that. And you're going for it right there. Tell you what, it worked at the end of last year's game against TCU. It was not the conventional thing to do. You could have punted and played for OT. Dave went for it. I thought it was gutsy. I understood it. But it was scary what he did against TCU. I didn't really see the upside the other night. They didn't have any timeouts left. You can get a first down. The clock stops to get up on the ball. And there was so much downside to that. So again, I think there's got to be, like, it was interesting because I would never think you would look at Hugh Freeze, the coach at Auburn, as some kind of like conservative type play caller. He's from the RPO, air raid. I mean, he's from that whole family. He wants to run as many plays as he can. He wants to run tempo. And yet there he was on Baylor's 48-yard line at one point in that game on fourth and 1, fourth and 2. And that sucker's punting. And I'm like, whoa, okay, well, thank you. But I that's an interesting point you make. You felt like they were doing it to steal possessions, and it's because of who they are. I felt even fairly now, again, I agree with you on the one down inside the 5-yard line. So let's agree to throw that out of the discussion. What I'm saying is when he goes for it, 20 seconds left at halftime, when he went for it fairly early in the game on his own 30 or 35-yard line, there was some stuff to me that reeked of desperation. I'm not talking about in the red zone or in the green zone, whatever we want to call it, inside the 10-yard line. I'm not talking about that. But it's an interesting deal. I think the most humiliating part of that game was just that no matter who you lined up, and I thought Lands, by the way, from a body standpoint, they were trying to load Lands up and make him play nose tackle in the past, and he was a little out of position. I looked at him, and he's listed. He's like number 9, I think now, and I thought, dang, that guy looks chiseled. I mean, it's not like I looked at the players and was like, that guy can't play there. You don't put him there. But watching those guys get moved around, it's sad that I found myself yearning for playing an ACC team. I mean, again, SMU's not going to be easy. That's going to be a tough game. But I'd like to think you can get in that game and won't get pushed around. I found it interesting to say that he was pretty upfront about how they're going to have to defend this SMU quarterback. And we'll talk about that more as we get into the week. But wasn't that interesting, Scotty? When it comes to talking about what's our man's name? Kevin Jennings. When it comes to talking about him, it was like, yeah, we got to spy him. And he said something about Jackson Arnold would have been David asked him about this today, and he said it would have been a non-spy spy. Sometimes I'm like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? At some point, you got to take a linebacker, a safety, or some point and go, this guy is blowing us up. I think Dave's answer was like, well, if we do this, they're going to hit us on a deep ball or whatever. I don't care. I'd rather see that than watch this guy run wild all evening.
So to your point, I know I said this on my show. I think we probably said it on your show. I think we probably said it on Pete's show. And I definitely heard other Baylor content creators saying this. With Jackson Arnold coming to McLean Stadium, I think most of our thought was stop the run, make him beat you with his arm. Because what he showed at Oklahoma is when there's a little pressure on him to throw, he is liable to make mistakes. Now, maybe he's outgrown that. Maybe by the end of this year, we're going to go, oh, wow, he figured it out. But last season, he did not. And this account simply called Sick'em Bears, which I appreciate, commented this. I think this is so true. You did not dare the unproven passer to prove he can pass. You did not dare the unproven passer to prove he can pass. I think that's exactly right. I am shocked that Dave Aranda's game plan was to play a very soft, keep everything in front of you, 2 safety deep coverage to stop the receivers from beating him, which they did, but thus allow Jackson Arnold to look like Kyler freaking Murray back there. I mean, I've got a buddy that's an Oklahoma fan that he tweeted some smack at me after the game. And I said, bro, you did not warn me that Jackson Arnold would become Kyler Murray in Waco. It was insane.
But the insanity was not like, if there's anything Aranda should be good at doing, it's got to be, he is the play caller and he's got to make the adjustments. And Paul Gonzalez, who's the new cornerbacks coach, and I really like him, and I like some of the things he's doing. But I mean, you're just getting gashed every which way. But again, at some point you got to go, the quarterback is crushing us, and we have got to solve this, and we've got to address it. And I guess at times, to be fair, there were brief times they did, right? There were brief times, like one of those times was when they called that phantom defensive hold penalty. They hit him and they screwed up that play, and the Bears were going to force them to punt there. I mean, again, they had their moments. It's like, it just kills me to see how good Keaton is. And then Fobbs White, Mr. Suplex you were talking about. I mean, you look at him and you're like, dang, who is that? Who is that ripped dude? Oh, that's that guy. And then they'll throw somebody else in there. You're like, okay, all right, I like these guys. I like some of these guys that are moving inside, some of these, the so-called star position, all this kind of stuff. And then to let this guy just run wild, it really, I thought, okay, you say, who did it reflect most poorly on? Yes, the defensive front had a horrible game. Let's be honest. But the person it reflects the most poorly on is Dave Aranda. He's your head coach. He's your defensive play caller. He's the grand poobah. He is the director of defense at Baylor University. And you go out there and you go, we're going to throw for 419 yards, and we're not going to run it very well, but we're going to pass on them all day. Talking about the Bears.
By the way, we threw for 419 yards, and Sawyer Robertson, I'm absolutely convinced that's the worst game he's going to play all year. I'm absolutely convinced.
I mean, he was not that accurate. And I thought his footwork was, he's 27 for 48, but you really shouldn't end up with those kinds of numbers if you have the kind of balance you need. I mean, we've seen him have huge games and put up big numbers, but you're right. He was not, he was probably not as accurate because he just had so much on him. I mean, he's got so much more freedom. And we should remind folks, Scotty, we knew that Auburn had a pretty good secondary. We knew that they had good cornerbacks. And when Dave says they were sticky on the outside, that's true. The Baylor had some trouble getting separation out there at times. Now, it could have been a worse night for Sawyer because there were a couple of balls. I gotta remember, Scotty, because I watched a high school game Thursday, covered the Baylor game. I was at the Aggie game, and then I watched that Miami game last night. And I don't know if this ever happens to you. You're like, wait, which game was that in?
Yeah.
And there was a ball that Scotty that Sawyer threw up the middle that they got their hands on that they could have picked fairly late in that game, if I'm remembering the right game, and they did not. So again, I'm with you. I didn't think it was one of the better games he's ever played, and they still now. Scotty, we probably need to take a break at some point. Have we been talking for a million years? What time is it?
Okay. We have been.
All right, let's do a break because we do have some unbelievable sponsors, and then we'll finish up with a little bit. We can comment on a couple other things. I mean, I haven't even really had a chance to sound off on freaking Micah Parsons. I did it on the Doomsday podcast, which you should all follow. We'll have that Thursday night. And, I mean, honestly, when I hear you, Scotty, say, I don't know, I said this on this show, and I said this on that show. Well, you and I are doing too many shows. We need to focus on this show. Look at me, Scotty. You think I have some air issues? Look at this sweat. I mean, we got some AC issues over at the Mosley home. We'll address it. We need to talk a little bit about Micah and some finishing thoughts on the Bears, and then we're going to let you go back to Labor Day activities. I don't know what people do on Labor Day. I may go get a burger or something. I may go grill something, but we'll let everybody get back to their grilling activities. We'll do that next.
When Central National Bank decided to partner with Baylor women's basketball, we didn't know exactly what that partnership would look like.
What brings you into the bank today?
For the last couple of months, I've been noticing a charge on my account, and I would like to block it.
I see. So you have a charge.
Yes?
And you'd like to block it?
Yes.
I think you should take the charge.
What?
Yeah, I definitely think you should take the charge.
I don't think you understand.
Sometimes you just have to take one for the team.
Is there a manager available?
We love that Coach Collin is all about the team. Once we get the vocabulary down, the sky's the limit.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor women's basketball.
I have Mac Rhodes, director of Baylor Athletics, on the phone. Mac, can you tell Peggy why she should take the charge?
Of course she should take the charge. Wait, are you at the bank again? And who is Peggy?
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Unlock a world of convenience with Mosley Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your tastes. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mulleybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. Unlock your full potential with Onnit, your go-to for premium supplements, fitness gear, and wellness essentials. Whether you're training hard, recovering faster, or just looking to feel your best, Onnit has the tools you need to perform at your peak. Visit Onnit, that's ONNIT.com, and elevate your mind, body, and spirit today. At Rolls Rolla, we don't just sell wallpaper, we create cohesive, cozy spaces. Our deep understanding of design means every pattern, color, and texture is carefully chosen to complement your home. Plus, we use advanced technology and water-based inks for vibrant, eco-friendly prints, ensuring a healthier environment. Visit rollsrolla.com to transform your space today. That's ROLLSROLLA.com today.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
At Tusane's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Tusanes.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.
Ready to bring your vision to life? At Small Rig, every idea, design, and product is inspired by you, the creator. With our industry-first under co-design mode and the Dream Rig free customization project, we unite with global creators to turn big dreams into reality. Whether it's a cage rig or mount, Small Rig's versatile gear is built to elevate your craft. Small Rig, where your creativity meets our innovation. Go to smallrig.com.
Calling all Marvel fans, get Marvel Unlimited and unlock over 30,000 comics featuring your favorite heroes and iconic stories, all available to read anytime, anywhere. Whether you're into classic tales or the latest adventures, there's something for everyone. Don't miss out. Head to marvel.com/unlimited today and start your Marvel journey now. At Angel Bliss, we believe every parent's journey is a beautiful adventure. Our mission is to make it joyful and stress-free with thoughtful, safe, and innovative products. Born from a love for family, we promise peace of mind for parents and comfort for babies. From playtime to bedtime, every Angel Bliss product is designed with care, reliability, and a style to nurture the special bond between parent and child. Angel Bliss, creating happy memories, one baby at a time. Visit us at angelbliss.us. Angel Bliss.
It is Matt Mosley Show, and right here on the Rogue Media Network. Shout out to the official attorneys of the Mosley Show, Cherry Johnson, Sigmund James. I was just looking at their website, which you need to check out, and some of the testimonials on here, some of the headlines. $279 million patent infringement victory for Mark Sigmund, securing the landmark jury verdict. Pretty amazing. That's CJSJlaw.com. All right. That's CJSJlaw.com. And that is, you got the Johnson, you got the James, the Sigmund, and Cherry on the top. All right. And there it is. And this time of day, we like to call it the landing. We get in there. We got, we're going to let everybody get back to their holiday, but it is time to mention Brazos Landing. Appreciate the Lindsays. Love what they do. And we'll be doing some shows over there live right there, waterside, right by the river. It's going to be so much fun over at the Brazos Landing, one of the great venues, one of the great restaurants in all of Central Texas. Love everything over there. The Bang Bang Shrimp is a good one. The chicken fried steak is great. There's a lot going on over there. So I appreciate it. Love our folks at the Brazos Landing. Scotty and I, we've been very busy this weekend. I've been up and down the roads. I've been in Waco. I've been in College Station. Last night I came home and Scotty, jump in. We always like to, and tomorrow we'll get back to a full, show and Campus Confidential. Although Scotty, I got to say, the 1 hour of power. I mean, there's like a level of intensity that we come out, and it's just like, and maybe it's the heat, maybe it's the fact the air's out in my studio today, and just the sweltering heat that's driving me to this. But this is what I want to capture. One time I tried to convince Scotty of something. I'm like, Scotty, what if we just did an hour? And Scotty said, well, 2 hours gives us more material to work with. Scotty, you've seen that, either way it works. It really does work. But the 2 hour Mosley show will continue tomorrow, 1 to 3. Join us live, and we'll have a big time. Scotty, the thing everybody was asking me about Friday night, because it had happened on Thursday, and the news comes down at about 4:00.
Yep.
That Micah Parsons has been traded to the Green Bay Packers, and for 2 first-round picks and Kenny somebody. I got to learn this. Kenny Clark. All right, thank you.
I got you.
I mean, he's like a Pro Bowl guy. He's been like a 3-time Pro Bowler. And to hear Jerry talk, it's like, oh, we would have never done this thing without Kenny Clark. I love this, man. Trade a generational pass rusher and then start talking about how great your run defense is. Maybe that's what Baylor should do. Just trade whoever their best defensive player. Just trade him. If they've got a good pass rusher, I think the verdict's still out on that. But if they do have one, like Cooper Lands, just trade him to somebody, and maybe it'll make think about the mental gymnastics you have to take to get to the point where you make a presentation. We're going to be really good against the run now because we got rid of this dang Micah Parsons. Oh, he doesn't show up in the big games. Who's now the Cowboy? Oh, it's unanimous, Jerry says. It was unanimous. And as I said, I think Scotty to you or somebody down there at Baylor, like, oh, really? Do you think the special teams coach is going to speak up and go, hey, I don't think you should do it? Of course it's unanimous because you've already announced you're going to do it. And the head coach and no one on that staff, including Matt Eberflus, is going to come out and go, you idiot, you can't make this deal. What do you think? Oh, we've got unanimous support. Oh, my gosh. They're laughing at you. Dan Quinn with the Commanders, who had Micah and knew how to use him, and this guy was putting up Reggie White numbers. There were only 2 people that in their first 4 years had 12 sacks every season. That's Micah Parsons and the late, great Reggie White. Let's think of all the people who are laughing at the Cowboys. Commanders, Eagles. Even the Eagles' offensive linemen are like, this is so great. We don't have to prepare for Micah anymore. The Giants, the Packers are laughing at you, even though they just gave up 2 first-round picks. You think anybody right now cares about the first-round picks in 2027? Stop pretending. Stop pretending. This isn't the NBA. This isn't like, oh, my gosh, look at all our assets. Oh, Nelly, we may go trade some of these assets for a running back, for a real running back. Listen to yourself. And then they go out and do a deal for Deron Bland. I love Deron Bland. He's great. But now, see, is when they go, look at all this money. We're just going to give $90 million to Trayvon Diggs. We're going to give $90 million to Deron Bland. These are good players. These are pick 6 types. These are guys that have good ball skills. I agree with all that. But you don't. I mean, They've been in the wilderness for 29 years, and they never go to NFC title games. And do we really think that by paying $180 million, committing that amount of money to the cornerback position is what's going to get them there? They have no clue what's going to get them there. Had a pass rusher. Had a generational pass rusher. Who's better than Micah Parsons? Okay, if somebody out there wants to say, I think TJ Watt, whatever. I think Myles Garrett, fine. Okay, Myles Garrett's significantly older. Watt is significantly older than Micah Parsons. But knock yourself out. If there's somebody you think is out there that is a better pass rusher than Micah Parsons. But most coaches and most everybody across the NFL believes that he's as good as you can get. But some of that stuff real, that he made everybody mad and that he was a bum in terms of laying around on the training table and acting a fool during training camp. All that's true. Is that reason enough to send him down the river? Probably not. Did he show up and play? Yeah. Did he miss a bunch of games? Well, he missed 4 games last year. Didn't miss 6, like Jerry tried to say he did. I mean, the bottom line is that Jerry ended up hating this dude, and they were ready to get him out. Was he Charles Haley? Was he that kind of an issue? No, not in a million years. Most of his teammates liked him. But the ultimate company man, Dak Prescott, was up there yesterday like, goodbye. Hope don't let the doorknob hit you on the way out. We're just fine. Okay, good, fine. I mean, I promise you, when you have one team out there like the Eagles that's going to have some huge sack total this year, and you got the Cowboys that has like maybe half of that, then you might wish, but hey, we're going to have a great run defense. Scotty, going to have just an incredible run defense. All right, Scotty. I mean, I'm going to tell everybody, I'm going to start telling people just to come at 2, because that's when I get the most aggressive. The 2:00 hour. But no, 1 to 3. We'll see you tomorrow. Scotty, thanks. Great job by Scotty. You cannot imagine what Scotty has been through over the past 72 hours or so. And I, for one, am very much appreciative. Thanks to Scotty. Thanks to my man Z, was helping me with some other stuff earlier today. Zach's a good buddy of mine, Zach Burke. Thanks to everybody at Rogue Media Network. We'll see you tomorrow at 1:00 straight up.